Welcome to the Sports Note for Thursday, August the 18th, 2020. Uh, Fresh actually off the Wise Guy Sports Show this past Saturday, and we hope that all of you guys tuned in. Mike and I are very appreciative of all the feedback that we ended up getting from his Facebook Live. We'll actually have a little bit of an announcement for the next episode coming up. But today we're going to talk baseball again, which, yeah, I know that's a little bit of a rarity for me considering the other big piece of news that came down today from my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. We may actually end up doing a breaking news on that here a little later on tonight. But over the course of the last 5 days, there's been massive shakeups within the Texas Rangers organization. Back over the weekend, the team fired their manager, and then on Wednesday ended up firing their uh, their team president. Chris Woodward was fired on Sunday, and then Jeff Daniels was fired on Wednesday. Daniels had been the team president of the organization for 17 years. Woodard didn't even make 400 games. He compiled a 160 and 224 record in about 3.5 years. So, what do the Rangers do? The Rangers go out and spend $500 million in salary over the course of the next 5 to 10 years on three players. They signed Corey Seager away from the Dodgers for 7 years and 175 million. Marcus Simeon comes aboard for 4 years and 56, and then starting pitcher John Gray comes over for 4 years and 56 million. And this was something that the Rangers were hoping to shore up the center of the diamond, to certainly get a couple of stalwarts on their infield, and this way they can compete with teams like the Mets, like the up and coming Cleveland Guardians, like the St. Louis Cardinals. The Guardians have Ahmed Rosario and Jose Ramirez, one of the best tandems in baseball. The Mets are now finally starting to reap the rewards of the Francisco Lindor trade after after last year. Some people were thinking already it could be a failure, but the Mets right now are in first place and are one of the best teams in baseball. The Guardians are surprising the world right now by leading the American League Central. The Cardinals right now, a lot of people were expecting the Cardinals to start running away with the National League East, and boy howdy have they not only come from behind on the Brewers after that, keeping a little close, but now they're starting to extend that a little bit, especially after their 13-0 plastering on earlier today of of the Colorado Rockies. And again, their two big signings on keeping with the theme, Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado earning that money. And the thing is, the Rangers were expected to not topple the Houston Astros this year, but they were supposed to make it damn close. But nobody saw the Seattle Mariners doing what they've done so far this year. And I say so far because there's still a lot of baseball to be played. The Astros are still 11 and a half up on the Mariners, but the Mariners right now have the top wild card spot in the American League, and they're sitting there relatively comfortably. They're 3 games up on the Tampa Bay Rays and 4 up on the Twins. Because remember now, with the playoffs expanding, you've got 3 wild card teams and the 3 division winners. The Rangers right now are sitting 4, maybe 5 games behind the next closest team to them in the standings, and they're 9, if not 10 games out of that last wild card. So they're not going anywhere. So you can understand where ownership wanted to kind of blow the front office up, but this is the time honored tradition. The players are not performing. So yeah, it's got to be the coaching staff in the front office. Well, they were the ones that put the whole thing together. It's not their job. It's the front office's job to go out and get the players. It's the coach's job to get them coached up. But at the end of the day, the players still have to perform. It's not like Woodard was going out there, taking hacks and underperforming, 4 or 5 times a game through whatever the stretch has been. The Rangers' longest winning streak on this year is only four. You've got a bunch of teams sitting worse in the standings than they are that have got longer winning streaks. They've had only one winning month all year, and that was May, where they went 17-10. They are about as close to mathematically eliminated from the playoff race, and we haven't even hit Labor Day as you can get. Their run differential is only a -3, but yet they're 53-65 going into tonight's action. That's 22 games under 500 and 23 games out of first place. You also had to figure the Rangers had to have been cursed because they moved into Globe Life Park, which is another retractable roof baseball stadium. They moved in there in 2020. Oh, yeah. What happened? COVID. The Rangers didn't even get to play in front of fans until the start of the 2021 season. Let's also remember in the 2020 season, you had the NBA play in Las Vegas in a bubble. You had the NHL play between Toronto and Edmonton in a bubble for the playoffs. Baseball did it too. Baseball actually played the American League Series in Houston, and then the National League Playoff Series were in um, were in Globe Life Field. The National League Championship Series was hosted there, and that was actually the first time that fans were allowed to enter that stadium as spectators. Which, again, how ironic is that there's fans at that game, not many of them. Let's also be honest, as they were slowly trickling fans back in, the later the season got, and it was the National League Championship Series between the Dodgers and the Braves, and Seager ended up winning the league championship series most valuable player in that series. Then signs with them after the following season for a massive contract. Oh yeah, where have I heard a 10-year north of $200 million contract for an infielder with the Texas Rangers before? Um, Possibly 22 years ago with a guy who got popped for PEDs, and Albert Pujols is about ready to pass on the all-time home run list. And big props to Albert today after hitting number 690 with which was a grand slam off the bench during that rout of the Rockies. Uh, but with the Rangers, they're a mess. They're not going to be hosting games after September in that stadium for quite a while. You would figure maybe kind of write off the Rangers for 2022, kind of like what a lot of people did with the Mets last year, and then they get everything right after they've got another year under their belt. Problem is the Astros really aren't going anywhere. Their window before they come back down to earth has still got to be at least another 2 or 3 years. Seattle's window is just opening. And if people think that Seattle's window is going to close as young and hungry as they are, and we've seen the winning streaks that they've been capable of going on this year, they're going to kick that window in. They're going to break the frame to make sure that you can't close it either. The Rangers, not only with those three players and that payroll, they're still paying Elvis Andrews $7.5 million after they traded him to Oakland, and then the A's released Andrews on Wednesday. They're still also paying Rougned Odor 12.3 million after trading him to the Yankees last year. He leaves after the season as a free agent, and he's signing for 700,000 with the Baltimore Orioles. So do the math. That's $19.8 million more that you're paying to guys to suit up for the other team. And again, you've signed three contracts in the offseason worth over $500 million, and you're 22 under 500 and 23 games out. Yeah, I can understand the ownership wanting to make a change, but there's absolutely no excuse for the Rangers players in this aspect. This is eerily reminiscent of when Toronto fired Dwayne Casey in the middle of the season, and then actually went on to win the NBA championship a few years ago, and also what the Cavaliers did in 2016, firing David Blatt midseason while they were in first place nonetheless, and then going on to win Cleveland's first championship in 52 years. And I want to, I'm not sure if you've heard before, but the Golden State Warriors blew a 3-1 lead in the finals. Just putting it out there for all of you who've never really heard that before, and if you have, it bears worth repeating as many times as you can. Difference is that right now the Rangers are not sitting in first place and then slid. They just never got out of the blocks. And until Houston decides that, yeah, we're kind of tired of contending for World Series titles, and we're kind of tired of you know people banging on trash cans or whatever they can when we're on the road. We're just actually going to keep the stranglehold on this division until Seattle decides, to step up and challenge us for our throne, because Texas damn sure ain't going to be doing it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment box below. Again, the most recent Wise Guys Sports Show with myself and Mike was this past Saturday. We had a great time. The next episode is probably going to be right around the week of September 11th. We're going to do the week after Labor Day, but we're also going to do a quick hitter Labor Day weekend, and that's going to be a preview of the Ohio State Notre Dame game on Mike's channel. And I say a quick preview because we all know that Mike is a big time college football fan. I cannot stand Ohio State. Not a big Notre Dame fan either. And I will say, if you have not seen the latest episode of that Netflix series Untold, this one that just came out earlier, I think it was on Tuesday, about the Manti Te'o saga um, from 15 or so years ago. Definitely go and watch that. And that's going to be a little bit, I know somebody's going to bring that up on that telecast here in a couple of weeks, but we'll be doing that. And the 1 year anniversary bash for the Wise Guys Sports Show, that's actually going to be pushed to our official 1 year anniversary. So that's going to be the October show, and that's more than likely going to be on this very channel. But we're also going to be starting next month. We're going to be simulcasting not only on um, YouTube through either one of our pages, regardless of who's hosting. But we're also going to be simulcasting on Twitch, and there's also a possibility that we may be doing Facebook Live. It's something we've been kind of kicking around for a little while, and we figure since they just added a Twitch app to both of our smart TVs recently, why not? Because a whole lot of everyone's got YouTube, but Twitch is a lot of fun, even though it's only going to hold the recordings for about 2 weeks. But again, let me know what you guys think. Let us know what you thought of last week's Wise Guy Sports Show. The new logo is officially out. You'll see it updated on the blog, which will be linked down below, and we will be back with you guys here probably sometime. I'm hoping here this weekend. So take care, everyone. Be safe, and we will see you very, very soon.